Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Noah Taylor, 24-year-old, dropped out of med school to pursue being a painting artist. So yeah, if this is your first time seeing my face, hi. I really hope you enjoy your stay here. I know you like it actually. I know you would like your stay here. And if you are my returning subscriber, hi, hello, welcome back. How are you, Pookie? I really hope that you're doing great because I am doing great too. I know that I had disappeared for like 2 weeks. Last week I wanted to take a video, but I was really going through it, you guys. Like, I was really going through it, and I had to remind myself that I'm still a baby. Like, it hasn't been even more than a year since I decided, you know what, I wanna pursue something else, and it meant me dropping out of something that I didn't like. I haven't seen someone do that like in my life, and I sometimes still feel crazy. But yeah, and sometimes I get to have this anxiety on how am I going to do this? Oh my gosh, how am I going to do it when I haven't seen someone do it? I don't know. I do get that, and sometimes I'm really scared and maybe I won't be able to do it. But you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm doing it. So yeah, I decided to record today because I just felt if I do not post on Monday, then you might as well draw me as gone, disappeared, absent. You know, like the last few times that I had disappeared. Last 2 times actually. So yeah, I am back. So in this video we're gonna be doing week 4 and 5 because I'm currently on week 6 and those weeks have passed, and I'm just gonna take you through them. So we're gonna start with week 4, which was called Recovering a Sense of Integrity. And I like to talk about the reading. So yeah, I'm gonna tell you about that, like what I was reading about and what are the things that are mentioned. So on reading of Recurring Sense of Integrity, so there was a passage called Honest Changes, which talks about the changes that start happening in our lives as we start identifying ourselves through the morning pages. So Julia Cameron here talked about how if you keep on writing these morning pages, which is something that I've seen, because most of the time you're writing about things that you're thinking about. It's mostly I. And keep in mind that you do not have to worry about anyone else finding out about the things that you think about, because no one is going to read your morning pages. So she talks about how the morning pages are a way for us to listen to God and talk to God at the same time, because you discovered that sometimes whenever you're doing your morning pages, you're gonna have questions which later on are gonna come together again in your morning pages. So she talks about that. Then under that there was also an exercise under buried dreams. So you talk about, so in this part of the reading, this is where I did an exercise as to things that I would try out if if I could, if I had money, if I had time, if I was not scared. I think I've forgotten the other one, but yeah, it was It was five. It was 6 questions. So yeah, and then also on week 4, I was supposed to deprive myself from reading, and this is because most of the time I use reading. Apparently, people read as a way to avoid creating, and I am someone who participates in reading a lot. And yeah, so this week 4, we're supposed to not read anything and start listening to our inner thoughts, or do other things instead. So yeah, I won that one, even though it was really hard, because there's a lot of like good things that I'm reading right now. I'm still reading Women Who Run with the Wind. Who Run with the Wild. I'm still reading Propaganda. I'm still reading a lot. There's a lot of things that I'm reading. So it was really hard. Even when I go to work, most of the time whenever I'm free, I'm gonna read. I'm gonna finish off my readings. So yeah, it was really difficult for me. Really difficult. So on the tasks that we were doing, so yeah, I think I did well this week. Let me see how many tasks that I did 4. It wasn't bad. I did 4 out of 9. Yes, I did 4 out of 9. So one, it's less than 50%. But you know what? I did really well. I'm gonna give myself that. So on week four's tasks, number 1, I had to describe. Okay, I did this one. Okay, I did it half. I did this half. So it says describe your ideal environment, which could be a town, country. Is it swanky? Is it cozy? In one paragraph, I did that. And then they said that after that, you should draw or clip an image that conveys that environment. They also asked, what is your favorite season? And I had to find, I know what's my favorite season, but then I had to find magazines. So that I had to go through magazines so that and find an image of summer. So yeah, I didn't do that. Or maybe draw it and place it near where I work. I didn't do that. Didn't. But I didn't do the exercise of going to try and find the pictures or even bother myself to draw it. But I will, because I still have time. I have a lot of time with this course. Then number 2 was I had to describe myself at 8. And then what do I do at 80? Not at 8. There's also 8. So it says that I have to describe myself at 80. What did you do after 50 that you enjoyed? Write a letter from you at 80 to you at your current age. So me at 80, writing a letter to me now. And what would I tell myself to pursue, and what dreams would I encourage? I haven't done this one. Also, I haven't written the letter or just go through this task. Then number 3, it says that remember yourself at 8. What did you like to do? What were your favorite things? Now write a letter from 8 to you at your current age. What would you tell yourself? This I did. I loved it so much. I just love visiting myself as a child, you guys. I keep her alive. Then number 4, is there a room in your house that you could make into a secret private space for yourself? Should be decorated not as an office but a fun area. I haven't done this, but I really want to do it. But I really want to do it. Then it says number 5. Task number 5. Task number 5 was saying use your life pie to review your growth, list ongoing list your life pie to review your growth. I did that. And then you are saying list ongoing self-nurturing toys you could buy your artist. So yeah, I did them because I have a lot of toys that I want. Then number 6 was write your own artist prayer and use it every day for a week. So I wrote my artist prayer. Here's it. I wrote my artist prayer this Sunday. So I'm gonna be doing this task this Sunday. This week the writing they're using the prayer for at least a week and see. I'm gonna update you next week about this one. And then number 7, it was an extend. I should plan a small vacation for myself, which I planned this January, so I ticked it as done. Then number 8, I was supposed to open my closet, throw out 10 on or donate one low self-worth outfit. I don't have any, so I didn't do this exercise. I long ago destroyed the thing, the out singing. Okay, I long ago donated the clothes that I didn't like anymore, or the clothes that made me feel. Number 9 was I had to look at one situation in my life that I haven't changed, that I'm supposed to change but I haven't yet, and I had to rethink about what's the payoff if I stay stuck in this. I did this activity. Number 10, okay, number 10 doesn't apply to me, because they were saying if you broke your reading deprivation, since it was reading deprivation week on week 4, so I had to write about how I did it, and was it in a tantrum, or was it a slip up or a binge, and how did I feel about it and why, which I didn't break. Like there's a day when I almost broke it. I was really bored at work, but I didn't. So, and then I did check in. That week there was no synchronicity. So, and also that week week 4 I did my morning pages, 4 out of 7. That is really, really good. I mean, it's like the previous weeks. But yeah, let us move on to week 5. And week 5 is called Recovering a Sense of Possibility. This is really my favorite week. I like the passages in that week. I love them so much. And I think one of the things that made me love them was because Doechii has a song called God, and most of the things mentioned on that song are in one of the passages in that book. So loved it down. Also, I bought a new morning page book. You see how beautiful she is? Come on. So, on week 5, recovering sense of possibility. So the first passage was limits, and it talks about how we can sometimes limit God, and how it is so difficult for people to imagine a God that is all too supportive, that will help you, that will support you and be there for you. We find it really hard most of the time. People would have excuses for not wanting to participate in their dream lives, instead of just trusting that the universe can provide all of these things for us. And I feel most of the passages were talking round about the same thing. So it also, the passage on limits also talk about she also talks about how we should pray to catch the bus and run as fast as we can. And for this to happen, we must believe that we are allowed to catch the bus. So basically, you should believe that you are worthy of catching the bus. Therefore, you will be able to catch the bus. It's like, I feel like it's the same thing as ask and believe that you have it, like you've already received it, and therefore that is how that thing is gonna come to you, because it's already here within you. Therefore it can materialize now, because you feel it, you know it's here. Therefore it has no choice but to materialize. And it also reminds me of the saying mind over matter. So what matters is not the physical itself. What matters is your state of mind. Yes, it's mind over matter. I think the statement says that. She also talks about how we come, like if we continue with our recovery, we come to recognize that God is an unlimited supply and everyone has access to it. And this is the line that Doechii used in that God song. And I read about this on a day that I had experienced so much abundance. For example, I walked to work, and that day I got a lift to work. When I went to buy sweets, the lady gave me five extra sweets. She was like, you need to taste these ones, because I usually like to go like buy certain sweets. And then she was like, no, there's these other ones that I'll let you taste, because you're not buying them because you have not tasted them. And I really love them. I enjoyed them. And I was expecting a payment, and I got more than I was expecting. I had a good day that day. And I came back to read these. Like, I was blushing, y'all. Like, I was blushing. Because how? And then the other passage was Finding the River, which teaches us to accept generosity from the universe and put all of our trust on the universe. Like I said, I feel these, oh my gosh, these passages, they go together like this. They mesh. So yeah, we should trust the universe as our source. And the last passage was on Virtue Trap. So this is a chapter that is teaching me to ask myself, are you self-destructive? And she talks about how us saying yes to people but never saying yes to ourselves. Like how if you're supposed to, that by this time I'm supposed to be doing that, but your friend asks you, which is, it's not an emergency, ask you to come with them somewhere, and you don't say, no friend, I can't do that today, I'm doing something at this time. So instead of saying that, you say yes to them. So basically saying no to yourself. And yeah, that is what she was talking about. And yeah, she was just talking about how these traps us in cycles as we keep making excuses to not do the things that we actually want to do because we want to help other people. Not even in a sense you would see these people have an emergency, but we just don't want to. I don't know what is that thing. I would see you don't tell your friends that you can't. Basically, people pleaser tendencies. That is what she was talking about. And then the passage had two exercises, which was one was called the virtue trap quiz, which was it has things that I had to fill, the sentences that I had to finish. So the first one was the biggest lack in my life is. Second one is the greatest joy in my life is. Third one is my largest time commitment is. Fourth one, as I pray more, I. Fifth one, I feel guilty that I am. I feel guilty that I. Sixth one, I worry that I. Seventh, if my dreams come true. 8, I sabotage myself so. 9, if I let myself feel it, I am angry. ... Then number 10 was other reasons I get so sad sometimes is because and then the second activity was 10 things I love. The second exercise was 10 things I love and would love to do. So I did that. And then the third exercise, so I said it was 2, but it's 3. The third exercise was writing 19 wishes you had. So I wish until 19, and the 19th one is written I especially wish. So yeah, that was the passages contained by week 5. And now we're gonna move to week 5 tasks. And I really did well with those ones. I did so well, and especially because the week 5 I was so busy with work. I felt so overwhelmed, but at the end of week 5 I was happy. So week 5 task number 1, the reason I can't really believe in a supportive God is, and you had to write 5 reasons. I did that. Number 2 was you have to start an image file. So the image file says if I had money I would try. Then you mention 5 things that you would try, and then you collect images on those desires that represent those desires when you spot them. So you have to collect them and put them in that image file, so which you're gonna be adding continually throughout the course. And then number 3, you have to list 5 imaginary lives. Okay, with second activity I did the things that I would do if I had money. I've even collected the images, so I don't count this task as done fully. Then number 3 is list 5 imaginary lives, and then you should add them in the file if you feel like it. I didn't do this one. Number 4, if I were 20 and had money, then you have to list 5 adventures, and then again you add these lives in your image file. Haven't done that. I don't I can't even think of adventures that I would do, but I'm gonna do it. Number 5, if I was 65 and had money, then you're supposed to list 5 postponed pleasures, which again you're supposed to collect images of them and put them in the image farm, which I feel this is something that you can do all throughout the course as it is mentioned. Then number 6, it was saying list 10 ways. Okay, 10 ways I'm mean to myself. I could only write 6. I'm barely mean to myself. Hey, I have learned to be really, really nice to myself. It's very beautiful. Then number 7, it's 10 items I would like to own that I don't have mentioned. They're not even 10 also. 2 for 6. It's only 6 also. And then number 8, honesty. Honestly, my favorite creative block is, I mentioned that, and I still have to draw myself indulging in it. Then number 9 is my payoff for staying blocked is, and I had to do this exercise in my morning pages. I did it. Number 10 also I had to do during my morning pages, which I did. So number 10 says the person I blame for being blocked. I did that. So yeah, and I also did the check-in, and I've done my morning pages for 5 times this week. So yeah, I really enjoyed week. I enjoyed week 5, y'all. I really enjoyed week 5. I think this was my favorite week because I got to like the synchronicities. So one of my favorite synchronicities is that I met someone who is also keen about learning about the history of Black people in South Africa before colonialism, because I am really into that shit. Like, I'm very much teaching myself about colonialism and just the history about my country, because I feel it is really important for me also as a person, and to just maybe understand other people, where they're coming from, you know, especially people who are not near being awake. I like saying my problem is that I'm too aware, but I'm realizing that it's the people who are not aware that I found to be problematic. So no, it's not my problem. But yeah, I'm really interested in that, and we are planning to have a group. The group is already there. We're planning to read and about these things and discuss and talk about our insights on them and how we can solve these problems, and if there is things to be done. And yeah, we're planning to meet once a week. I'm really excited about this. I'm gonna get back to reading about this, and I would really appreciate giving my perspective to other people. I really would. And I like having knowledge. I do. I like that a lot. And I feel it'll be sort of formal to do this. But yeah. Anyways, when I was being hard on myself, like I said, I genuinely reminded myself that I am literally a baby artist. Like, I didn't consider myself an artist until less than a year ago. So I should really go easy on myself. I'm literally a freshman, approaching my sophomore year, but I'm a freshman. You know, like I'm a baby, y'all. I'm a baby, and I have had to work really hard to be here. There's just a lot of internal work that I had to do. There's still more, I feel, but yeah, I'm just a baby. I'm really just a baby, and yeah. If you enjoyed listening to me, yep, and if you enjoyed seeing my face, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you on my next video. Bye.